So I'm Fred Minnick, and I have the greatest job in the world where I get to sip rare and lovely spirits for a living, talk about them, judge them, write about them, do TV about them, and I think most importantly, get to teach others about the true history of a lot of spirits. Yeah. So, I was a soldier. I was a Army photojournalist. Basically, when I was in Iraq, I was attached to either special forces or infantry units or civil affairs operations, and I would capture whatever we were doing, and my work was used to brief the Department of Defense, generals, stuff like that. So I did everything from take pictures of car bombs to actually being in firefights to school openings. So, one day I would be, meeting with a governor of an area of Iraq and taking pictures of him cutting a ribbon and getting flowers from the school children. And then the next day I'd be at a police building that just got bombed. So it was a very defining thing of my life. In fact, the person that went to Iraq, he never came back. For me, there was a day, and that was on June 24th, 2004. I was with a small team, and we were told to go to a firefight and take pictures of them shooting at us. And then as they were breaking up and our main unit was like moving in or going to another area, my small little team got ambushed. And in that ambush was an RPG. And when it fired, it was coming right at me. And it landed. It's even all this time later, it's still very difficult to talk about it, but it's important to talk about it because it's kind of my way of showing that this moment doesn't define me, it doesn't own me. And it landed about 10 to 15 feet in front of me, and I was in the kill zone of an RPG. And this RPG would have absolutely killed me. I would not be here today if it had detonated. But by the grace of God, an angel was over me. I don't know, but it didn't detonate. It's like one in a million chance of it not detonating. I had to focus on that moment for the rest of my life to get myself better, because when I came home from Iraq, I'd close my eyes and I would see that moment or other moments just like it. I would be walking in a city and I would be scared of walking near tall buildings because snipers could be on there. If I saw a piece of trash on the side of the road, I was afraid that piece of trash could have like a grenade in it. Like, I was constantly in fear of things like that. And so I got in therapy, and that's the most defining moment of my life, is when I made that decision to not let June 24th, 2004 be the rest of my life. Like, it was my decision to not let that be my story, but it's part of my story. It's a chapter in it, but it is not my life. And the 3 years of really intense therapy that I had, it took the broken me and made me better. It made me better than who I was before. Um, and that's the single most, you know, deciding moment of my life was when I decided to walk in and sit down in a therapy chair and not let Iraq define me. It's gonna sound cheesy, but my wife is an enormous influence on me. She is, she is my rock, and I wouldn't be here if not for her. And I think of if you talk about influence, what someone can do for you, uh, in terms of helping you get better. She's everything. So I'd say by far she is the most influential person in my adulthood. Yeah. What's crazy is that I always looked up to Ernest Hemingway. Um, I looked up to Hemingway. His writing was beautiful, but it was his personality, and he was larger than life. He was American, and I think that's what has always been special to me about him is that he embodied to me, Ernest Hemingway embodied what it meant to be American, and that you traveled, you sought adventure, and you also had a base, you had a core, and you had a talent that no one could take from you. And I think if you go around and you look about what it means to be American, Ernest Hemingway is on that Mount Rushmore.